Hi YouTube, this is Joe Calton with Calton Cutlery. You can visit me on the web, caltoncutlery.com. Today we are going to start off a whole new series. I'm going to try to keep this one an awful lot like the edge retention tips series. Not so much that this is going to be tips, but that same kind of format where, you know, the videos are short, you know, try to keep them at 10, maybe 15 minutes at the most, and try to really stay on task with each, you know, on topic for each video. This one right here is going to be a fun one. Well, they're all fun, right? I mean, as long as we're talking about knives and sharpening and, you know, cutting stuff and all that kind of stuff, it's going to be a good time, right? This is going to be on diamond stones, okay? Now, you guys know that I have been a huge fan of the DMT and Smith's diamond stones for a long, long time. And especially the 325 grit, which both of these are labeled as coarse, although the 325 grit. Funny thing about that is that the Norton crystalline stone, the fine side is about a 320 grit. The Norton Fine India stone, Fine India, and it's rated at a 320 to a 400 grit, something like that. So apparently a fine rating on a diamond stone is a whole lot different than a fine rating on, you know, man-made stones. That kind of stuff's all across the board. But anyway, the 325 grit has been my favorite edge for a long, long time. It gives, first of all, it's fast, okay? It is a very fast edge to put on. It is, I mean, you guys know me, I'm a knife maker, right? So, I mean, I make hundreds of knives a year, and I really do not have the time or the inclination to spend more than maybe 2 or 3 minutes at most putting an edge on a knife. Now you guys also know that I hand put every edge on every knife that's ever shipped, and hand put every edge on every knife that I've ever carried, every knife or razor or whatever that's used in the shop. I do not believe in power sharpening, but a stone that will give me a good working edge that's very aggressive and will still pop hairs with the best of them is what I get off of these 325 grit stones. The problems here are that this Smith's, now I love their 325 grit, but they're only in the interrupted surface that I know of, okay? The interrupted surface is, there's a couple of things that I don't like about it all that much. I'd much rather have a continuous surface type stone, even though they're more expensive. Which is why I've been stuck on these DMTs for so long. But the problem with the DMTs is that it seems like their quality control just keeps slipping and slipping and slipping, or I'm just getting more and more and more unlucky. I bought this one from the DMT store on Amazon, I want to say like 6 months ago, something like that, and I only unboxed it about 2 weeks ago because I thought, you know, my last one is it just seems to be slowing down and the edges just aren't as crisp as what they used to be. I pulled this one out of the box, and man, it had so much trash on top of it that, no kidding, I took a couple of junk knives and spent probably 20 minutes just working the top of that surface, getting rid of all the loose and poorly bonded diamonds off the top before it started cutting fairly decent. Well, then the problem with that is that some of them poorly adhered diamonds ended up taking some good diamonds underneath it. So, I mean, it's a good stone, and it's settled down now and it's producing good edges, but there's like flat spots in it. And it's just, the last couple that I've had from them, same place from the DMC store on Amazon. They came with, you know, regular old DMT paperwork, so I can't imagine that they're fakes or knockoffs. But the last couple of them were really rough also. In fact, I ended up sending like 3 or 4 of them back to DMT, where they looked them up and, you know, they ended up sending me brand new stones. And those were a little bit better, but they still weren't near like what they used to be. So anyhow, all this leads me to, I'm going to take a look and try some different stones. We've got the Harbor Freight Diamond Hone Block, which we know, I use this mostly for flattening water stones because they're cheap. They're like 12, 15 bucks, something like that. You get 4 sides, and I really don't want to take a, you know, a $60 or $70 diamond plate to flatten out a water stone if I can do it with a $12 one. The rest of these are brand new to me. We've got a Husky Now it's the interrupted surface, but you know, I'm just looking around, you know, looking at, seeing what else is out there. These you can get at Home Depot. I want to say this one was like 20 or 30 bucks, something like that. And it's a 3x8, 2 1/4 by 6. So not a bad size stone. We've got the Lansky. I did buy this one quite a while ago, and I've played around with it a little bit, and it's a two-sided jobber. I want to say this side was, I think this side was like a 280, and then the other side was like a 600 or something like that. They were kind of oddball. But I've worked with this a little bit, but not as much as what we're going to. The Easy Lap stone, if I remember right, this one is fine and medium. And it's rated at, I think their fine is rated at 600. It doesn't say on here, we'll have to look it up. I want to say the fine side is rated at 600, and that medium side is rated at like right around 300 or so, maybe 400 or 280, something like that. This one, I have worked with Easy Laps before, and they've been fairly good stones. You can also get them in these little, the little bitty file card type things for like sharpening up carbide tooling on your lathe without having to dismount it. And then this one right here, that Outdoors 365 or 355 something or other, that dude, he really seemed to like this one quite a bit. And he's got a microscope kind of like mine, only it looks like it's a way better microscope than mine, and it looks like he puts a whole lot more time into actually taking pictures and not just putting a video camera in the top and showing it to you on a TV screen like I do. And he had a lot of really good things to say about this one. And so I don't remember if this one, yeah, this one is a two-sided too. It's a coarse and an extra fine. The coarse is 325 and the extra fine is kind of blocked out so you can't see it. 1200. Yep. Coarse is 325 and the extra fine is 1200. It's a 3x8 stone, but you get 2 grits, and this one was like 70 bucks or so from the link that was on his channel. So anyway, so over the next couple of months or so, I'll end up doing unboxings on these stones, and then we'll do like we'll sharpen a knife right off of the stone as it comes out of the box, and maybe do some rope cutting tests, or cut some paper, or do whatever, and then kind of break in the stone a little bit, you know, kind of smooth the top off of it, and then you know, do another rope cutting contest with it just to see, you know, what kind of edges that we're getting off of these stones. You guys know that my favorite edge is, like I said, off of a 325 grit diamond stone with micro bevels. Now there's a couple of things about those micro bevels that we'll just go into real quick. Oh, I've got an Atoma. I've got an Atoma 400 or so in there too. I didn't bring it out. I don't use it very much. I don't like it all that much, but that micro bevel, that very last couple of strokes that you take to shear the burr off, really depends on having very sharp diamonds that are sticking upwards most of the time. And that way the burr that gets sheared off of the edge, if there's enough space in between those peaks and those diamonds, that will trap the old pieces of burr, and then if the peaks are nice and sharp enough, then they'll cut that burr off real nice and clean and leave that really nice aggressive edge that I'm after so much. So it'll be really interesting to see, you know, if any of these stones, if they end up beating out the old DMT. And like I said, I just could be really unlucky and getting some bad DMT stones, but it's enough that I'm, you know, wanting to look at other stones and see what else is out there. So again, this is Joe Calton with Calton Cutlery, and visit me on the web, caltoncutlery.com. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you next time.